Thank you for joining us. As we've been here for the past 18 hours or so for this charity water campaign. Thank you for all those that have been coming back and viewing all the conversations and those who have donated. We are truly blessed for all your donations and your support. So I am so honored tonight to be here with John Lee Dumas. John Lee Dumas, there he is. For those who don't know, John Lee Dumas is entrepreneur, also known as Entrepreneur on Fire, the owner of Entrepreneur on Fire. He has a wonderful podcast that interviews entrepreneurs 5 days a week, which is insane but awesome at the same time. Oh, look, someone just jumped on.
Hey, Ray Pear in the house.
John, how you doing?
What's going on, my man?
Not much. I don't know this gentleman. I'm Ray. Hello.
Hey, Ray, how's it going? Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right, I was just doing a quick introduction here, so why don't we, John, why don't you go ahead and do a quick little introduction, then we'll jump over to Ray, and then we'll get started.
I'd love to. Well, listen, my name again is John Lee Dumas. I am the founder and host of Entrepreneur on Fire. I'm honored to be a part of this great campaign to raise $10K on 10-1 for charity water. I think it's a phenomenal foundation and a phenomenal movement. So everybody that's a part of it, thank you very much for what you're doing. It's just amazing. And yep, I am the founder and host of Entrepreneur on Fire, which actually is a 7-day-a-week podcast now that interviews today's most inspiring and successful entrepreneurs. We've had some great past guests like Seth Godin, Tim Ferriss, Gary Vaynerchuk, Chris Brogan, Barbara Corcoran, and the list does go on. We're currently a top-ranked business podcast in iTunes, generating over 450,000 unique downloads every single month in over 145 countries. So it's a massive reach to entrepreneurs, small business owners, and it's just a lot of fun to really engage with these top-level entrepreneurs and have them share their inspiration with all of the listeners who are making or starting their entrepreneurial journey or progressing in it. So it's been a lot of fun so far, and I'm just glad to be here today and to continue to share that with you.
Awesome. Maybe we have a special...
Jillian!
What's going on? How are you?
Oh, man, I am just so happy to be here, and it's great to see you.
I'm thrilled that you're a part of, and I just have to tell you, I just shared a few moments ago, I won't take up too much time, but you stand out to me as being somebody that has fantastic integrity. And I was really blown away when, having the chance to meet you in person and seeing that who you represent yourself as online and through Entrepreneur on Fire is no doubt who you are in person. And so I have tremendous respect for you. So
Jillian.
hashtag kudos, my friend.
Hashtag.
Yes, hashtag kudos. So I'll let you get going. I just had to come down and say hello quick, and thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm really thrilled. It's incredible to have so much collaboration with all these entrepreneurs for a good cause. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Jillian. I'm touched.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
Nice.
Oh my God, I'm going to this party and, they have 3 dogs and I don't know what to get them. Well, guess what's going to come up is, Ray, who runs this great business, who has this great stuff for dogs and, all et cetera, because you reached out and touched their lives, and so that light bulb's going to go off. And so for me, that was always being there, always connecting with people, providing them value, not just kind of saying, Entrepreneur on Fire, the podcast, XYZ. No, it's about really helping them in their business. I tweet about 15 times a day. 13 of those tweets are about past guest articles. Their current articles that they're currently writing, or their current podcast, or whatever it is. I'm reaching into their lives and helping them. I'm not just being a blowhorn for Entrepreneur on Fire. I'm really focusing on helping them in every single way that I can on a day-to-day basis. And that's what you need to do in your community as well, is really reach out. And how can I be helpful? How can I really help and make an impact and have someone sit back and say, wow, that guy Ray, like he came here and he did his thing and he didn't even really talk necessarily about what he does. I know what he does because I know Ray, but he just helped me, and that means a lot. And that was when I really started multiplying that and seeing that add up to a big degree, that I really saw kind of the tipping point happen, and I've just continued to double down on that with everything that I do in Entrepreneur Fire. It's always about providing value outwards, and it gets reciprocated inwards.
That's an incredible answer, and you're right on track. And I think back to, and I'm sorry, this gentleman here, I don't know your name.
Joel.
Joel, okay, thanks, Joel. Joel, I went to a conference called Agents of Change, which John spoke at, and there was after hours that we're all going out having a couple of beers and some hors d'oeuvres, and I got to tell you, I was just fried mentally, physically, and I wanted to go home, spend some time with my wife and my kids, and I wanted to, grab a good book and read. And I said, you know what, I'll go down to the after hours for at least one beer. I want to say hi to John. I want to thank him for what he did, and I just want to spend a little bit of time down there. Next thing I knew, I was there for, well, I think I left around 11. And left, sober, but left just probably charged beyond belief. I felt like I could, go out and run a marathon because I talked to so many great people who just shared some really, really good stories, connected with some people that, I'm still connecting with now, and feeling like, I learned so much from people I engaged with. And, I'll probably never, ever say, okay, I'm heading home because I'm tired.
Right. Nice. So, two things that I'm getting really, one, I need to go to the next Agents of Change conference.
Yeah.
Because,
go to Maine, baby.
I've heard about this conference so many times today. That's a Rich Brooks conference. Is that correct?
Yes, Rich Brooks up in Portland, Maine. Myself, Chris Brogan, Mike Stelzner of Social Media Examiner, HubSpot was there, Constant Contact. It was a great event on a lot of levels.
Yeah, nice. And then the other thing that I'm getting, and we've been hearing this throughout the entire day, and it's exactly what John just talked about. We've heard it from Pam Slim early in the morning to Chris Brogan kind of later in the afternoon or mid-afternoon to now with John and other entrepreneurs basically saying the same exact thing, and that's really making those connections, really helping people move what they're working on forward, right? Trying to add value to someone else's project, someone else's life, and in that, just letting that happen, and organically, it returns in some way, shape, or form. But it's really like just making those connections with everyone, and we've been hearing that thread. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the post conversations, but our guys upstairs, our tomfoolery guys, have been making those connections throughout the day, and that's one that keeps coming back around. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. So, Ray, what I kind of like to do now is kind of hear about a couple wins that you've had recently, and kind of maybe dissect a little bit, the reasons for that, and then how we can kind of not only replicate it, but maybe even amplify that.
Absolutely, and you cut out there for a second, but did you say here about a couple of wins that I had?
Yeah, a couple successes that you've had.
Oh, I'd love to share them. Got a call from a woman named Amy Dutton, and I'll do a call out for her. It's Amy Dutton Homes. I'll post when I'm done talking. I'll post a link to her website. She's an interior designer, and she remodeled this gorgeous 18th century home in York, Maine, and now uses it as a show house. And she just called. She said, "Hey, I like what you're doing. I saw your stuff on your website. Can we, get together? Can you build some things for us?" So I was just ecstatic, and I said, yeah, and I figured she'd, buy a dog bed, maybe a throw pillow or something, and then she'd put it in her showcase. Well, she came in with this huge order of stuff for us, which actually we're picking up tomorrow and delivering to her. And throughout the whole process, I have just constantly communicated with her. I've asked her a ton of questions. I've given her, all the time I can help her with. And I'm, giving her shout outs. I'm going to be posting her stuff up on our blog and our website and our Facebook page to really just promote her business. And she keeps calling and ordering more stuff. And it seems like every time I say to her, "What else can I do to help you promote your business? What else can I do to help you, get you up and going with your interior design and get you new customers?" She gives me another order. It's
all about that providing value, Ray. So let me ask this question: when she reached out to you, one of your first questions should have been, and maybe it was, how did you find out about me? Did you ask that question?
I did, and I'm glad you asked. And she actually found us on Etsy, and it goes back to, John,
Nice.
you said try to be everywhere. And
Yeah.
you can find Dauphin stuff on probably 45 websites right now. Because we are just trying to put ourselves out as much as possible, not from a sales perspective, but from a perspective to say, we've got a great product that we just want to share. And you know, we've got a product that's going to last, it's made in Maine, it's handmade, and we believe it's going to add value to yourself and the connection you have with your dog.
That's going to resonate with a lot of people. I mean, especially Mainers. I mean, I know Mainers, you know Mainers. There really are a different breed who are just proud of where they came from and stuff that comes from within. I mean, you know the Old Port, and Joelle, for you that maybe doesn't know it that well, the Old Port is a great little place within the city of Portland, which is the biggest city in the state of Maine. And every one of those shops there is a homegrown Maine shop, and they just do the little Maine goods, and and people just really resonate with that. So that's why I love what you're doing, Ray, and the way that you're putting yourself out there. And I can just see things like Instagram being huge for you, like really just taking beautiful photos and then sharing them. And you know, same thing with Pinterest, and same thing with Etsy, like you said. I mean, really getting out there into those kind of markets for people that really do appreciate kind of the finer things in life, the more quality, the beauty, the creative things. And those are really some communities that you can really thrive in. And it seems to me also like there's some really good opportunities for you to either start, join, or do both within LinkedIn, within Facebook, within some other areas, some dog-loving communities and Maine focused. So really, you know, find in LinkedIn, LinkedIn's amazing for groups. Is there a Maine dog lovers community in LinkedIn? If there's not, you can start that, and then you can really start this kind of momentum where people that are joining that group, they love dogs, they want to hear about dogs, and they want to hear about stuff in Maine. And you're just going to be the community leader. You're not going to be just throwing Dauphin at their face, but guess what? It's going to be there, and you're going to be the authority figure. You're going to be the leader of this community. And so when things come up, when events come up, you're going to be the guy that can be there for that. So that's an example of a few things you can really start doing right now to become an authority figure within the dog Maine community, which I think is right for the picking.
Yes, John, oh, sorry, go ahead, Joel.
No, I was just saying that's awesome advice.
It is, and John, I think you're a little clairvoyant. Today, I sent out about 300 or 400 invites from Woof at LinkedIn, which is the Dauphin LinkedIn page.
Nice.
I sent this out around 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock this afternoon. As of right now, about 180 have responded.
Wow.
And said, yeah, we'll connect with you. So I think you're onto something, and I think I should turn that into, like a Maine dog lovers community.
But my question to you, Ray, is, you know, now amplify that. How can you provide value to this community? What can you do? Provide the best dog parks in each community in Maine, the best dog walking areas, like the best places to pick up different things. I mean, continuously add value first. And everything else, let everything else come afterwards. Yeah. You know, first and foremost is just you being that community leader, just providing great value, making people want to come to this because it's incredibly valuable for them to do so. I know my sister lives right in Portland, right off of Washington Ave on the Boulevard. I mean, she would love to know that there's a community for dog lovers in the Portland area that's going to show the different, you know, dog parks, and maybe they, you know, even start niching down within these groups. I mean, Springer Spaniels unite. I mean, my sister has a Springer Spaniel, and she doesn't want to take her dog to go play with some, you know, Doberman Pinscher because it's just this, you know, her dog's 21 pounds. But if she could take it with other Springer Spaniels and they can have some fun with like-sized dogs, then she'd be all over that. And that can be, you know, they can, you know, meetups could form from within this group, you know, little could form within that, so out there, and it's really just a matter of you taking the reins, which you're obviously doing, and I commend you for that, and moving forward with it.
That's an awesome idea, and can I get a link to this thing after it's recorded? Because I'm going to play it back about 700 times for myself and my business partners.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you type in your email address into the chat box there, Ray, and I'll make
Sure.
sure you definitely get that.
So
So,
Joel,
John,
go ahead.
yeah, so I had a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
You launched in 2012,
Yes.
September 2012, right? September 20th, actually. So you just hit a year. How did you do that? So it's because you're married, you have children, correct?
No on both counts, which is probably one reason why I was able to do it.
Okay. My facts are completely off here.
Well,
So,
everything was right except for that married part. It was September
right,
20th, 2012. Entrepreneur on Fire launched. I don't have a wife and kids at this point. I do have a very lovely girlfriend who actually is a full-time partner in the business. She is 100% part of Entrepreneur on Fire, so I do have a team. My partner is my teammate. Kate Erickson is her name, and she's phenomenal. Ray actually knows her well because she helps run the Fire Nation Elite community, amongst other things that we do. So it's not been easy, Joel. I mean, it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of very long weeks, but it's been a lot of passion and a lot of energy and a lot of drive behind that. And yes, I launched on September 22nd, 2012 with episode number 1. Now we're well past episode number 320. I've recorded over 370 episodes, which are lined up to be released on a daily basis because we are 7 days a week. So it's been really a life. It's been a work of passion. It's been a year of hard work and determination. But seeing the people I've connected with, like Ray, that I can come on something like this and really help to inspire others. It really makes it all worthwhile, and it's something I'm looking to continue to do because my goal with Entrepreneur on Fire is truly to inspire millions. We're at the point where we just crossed the 2.5 million download mark.
Wow.
We generate over 450,000 unique downloads per month as a top-ranked business podcast in iTunes and in Stitcher Radio and other places. Tons of opportunities have come up for me. I just spoke in Maine, Agents of Change with Chris Brogan. I'll be speaking at New Media Expo in Vegas in January, out in the Philippines with Pat Flynn, Amy Porterfield, and Chris Ducker this coming March, and then out here in San Diego, where I'm currently at right now for Social Media Marketing World, which is going to be a great conference for entrepreneurs, just like New Media Expo and Agents of Change are. And it was a huge leap of faith. I'm not going to lie to you. It was a massive leap of faith because when I first started, I was, going in full-time as a podcaster, and the question that everybody asked was, John, that sounds great. You're going to be able to talk to great entrepreneurs, but how do you make money? And it's an honest question, and it's a great question because that's what, that's life. I mean, we need to do it. And I didn't honestly have the answers at the time. I knew that I wanted to inspire millions by interviewing successful and inspiring entrepreneurs. I knew that that was what I really wanted to do. And I knew that if I did that enough, if I provided enough free value, that the monetization would come, just like I keep talking to Ray about. Just be that authority figure. Be that person that's that beacon of light. When Ray becomes the beacon of light for dog lovers in Maine, I mean, the world is going to, or the state of Maine is going to be his oyster, and he's going to be great. And so for me, here we are, September 20th of 2013, or now it's October 1st actually, but in September of 2013, was my year anniversary. So to celebrate that, this week we're actually publishing our income report for Entrepreneur on Fire because like Pat Flynn does for the Smart Passive Income, he's very transparent. He shows how he made money. He showed what he spends his money on, and he just puts it out there so he can be transparent. He can really provide credibility and authority in the Smart Passive Income niche. And we're doing that in the podcasting world. And, I'm happy to do it because it's going to help a lot of podcasters learn how they can monetize, and they can see into our business on how we do it. And I'm happy to share those numbers because it's going to be public knowledge in a couple of days anyways. But for the month of September, Joel, our income was over $50,000, and
Nice.
that number we're really only expecting to grow as we move forward and as we impact more people. And honestly, the first 6 months, I barely made any money. It was really just a work of trust, of passion, of faith, and just really trying to inspire as many people as possible and see what would happen when that audience was built. Well, now the audience is built, the money is starting to roll in, and we're able to impact more people because of that. So there is money in podcasting. There is money in what Ray is going to be doing, which is going to be becoming the authority figure of dog lovers in the state of Maine. And for anybody that's listening out there, and this is one thing that I really focused on in my speech at Agents of Change, is not podcasting, it's building an audience in whichever way you're going to do. Ray's building his audience through LinkedIn, through Etsy, just through dog lovers. I'm building my audience through iTunes, through Stitcher Radio, through podcasts. Right. Other people can build their audience through blogging, through videos, through YouTube, whatever they want to do. But once you have built your audience in your niche, that's really when you can start making it a viable business. And a viable business means you're making money, which you need to do if you want to sustain it. As much as I'd love to keep doing Entrepreneur on Fire forever, if I was making $0 a month, I couldn't do it. Right. If it was $0 a month, because I've got to live just like everybody else does. But now that I've turned it into a viable business, I can still provide free content on a daily basis to my listeners and still make it a viable business and make money as well.
Yeah.
So John, go ahead. So John, real quick, so we're almost out of time here, but for the audience that's out there, how did you validate this? Did you validate this idea before you started Entrepreneur on Fire? Did you just go off of a gut feeling? Like how, I think, to go from nothing, from an idea to what you have now in 12 months is amazing. So what was your validation process? I know you worked with
Jamie Tardy.
Jamie Tardy, venture millionaire there, and she was one of your mentors, but give us a little bit insight into that.
I'd love to. So I am a huge believer in the Eric Ries Lean Startup method of the minimally viable product and just getting something out there and getting that proof of concept as soon as possible. Now, I learned about that after I launched Entrepreneur on Fire, so I wish I knew about that before, but I didn't. So I did release a lot on faith, but I also did look at some other people in the industry who were proof of concept. Andrew Warner, David Simon Garland, they were both running interview podcasts where they interviewed other entrepreneurs, and they had built businesses around that. It took them a long time, and they definitely had their specific model. David Simon Garland does video. Andrew Warner does interviews audio, and video based as well. And my differentiating factor was that I was going to do audio only because I knew that my audience was going to be the people that drove to work, the people that went to the gym. And it was going to be 7 days a week. David Simon Garland, Andrew Warner kicked out great interviews a couple times a week at most. I knew there was a need for more quantity and more consistency. So my audience, they know they wake up in the morning, they pour a cup of coffee, they download Entrepreneur on Fire. It's there, it's waiting for them, it's habitual now. And that was what I thought. I wish that I had proved it. I didn't. I'm lucky that I was right. I don't recommend people doing it that way because I spent 3 months creating Entrepreneur on Fire behind the scenes before I launched it. And what I really now say that I know better, and I know the Eric Ries model, and he says it better than anybody else, eofire.com/Eric Ries. I've had him on the show. Get that minimally viable product out there and just get it out there and ask people for feedback. I mean, that's the best thing you can do in any industry out there, and that's what I do right now with everything that I do. And I can give you the details on that with my latest product. And I'll be quick because I know we're at the end of our time here. I just launched, or I'm on the process of launching Podcasters Paradise, which is going to be a community that people can learn how to create, grow, and monetize their podcasts. I know that this community is needed out there because it doesn't exist. And I know that I'm going to have great video tutorials, a great forum for interactions, and then also I'm going to do monthly webinars where I bring on top podcasters to share insider tools and tips. And I'm really excited about Podcasters Paradise. But to validate it, before I even created it, I had an early bird special last weekend where I sent it out to my audience. I said, listen, if you want to get it now, it's going to be $400 to get into Podcasters Paradise. But if you join this weekend, you're going to get a lifetime membership for $200. And Joel, over that one weekend, just 72 hours, I sold over $10,000 worth of Podcasters Paradise for something that didn't even exist.
Yeah.
But now I've proven that concept, and those people know straight up that October 24th was going to be the first day it was going to be available, so they were just buying it early, so they are very happy with what they did. And now I'm creating the product, and I'm going to launch October 24th, and it's going to be $400 for everybody that didn't get in early. But now this is a proven market. I knew it was up here, but many people have known it was and have been wrong. So now I know not only do I think so, but over $10,000 worth of sales are proving my point as well for, again, a product that doesn't yet exist. So that, I think, is really the lesson that I've shown that I wish I followed when I first launched Entrepreneur Fire, and now that I know better, that's what I do with Podcasters Paradise, and we're seeing a lot of success from it.
Nice.
Awesome. That's so awesome, John. Thank you. Hey, I know we asked you for 30 minutes of your time. We're at 8:02. Ray, I hope you're good with the questions that you were able to get in. I know Eric didn't have any questions, so he did say thank you. So I hope he's satisfied as well.
We got Dwayne in here.
Yeah, wanted to make sure everyone was able to get their questions in. John, we really appreciate your time, and thank you for supporting us and giving us 30 minutes of your time towards the Charity Water campaign.
It's been amazing, Joel. Thanks, Ray. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Dwayne. It's been wonderful. So great cause, and thank you for everything you do.